I will never be complaining about the Soviet system. I was successful, and I wouldn't say Tarkovsky would have complained. He would never be able to do one of his films abroad as he did in Russia. He did certain wonderful films in Sweden, but Andrei Rublev, it's too expensive for Sweden to do it, so he couldn't have done it. So in a sense, Soviet Union was, you know, it's like a brave new world. You know exactly what you shouldn't do, and the rest you can do. And I made my films, I knew exactly what I shouldn't. There are very few films that have been banned, maybe I would say 20 films in the whole period of after the war. I mean, before the war, Stalin's time, it's different because people were sent to concentration camps or prison or executed, etc., etc. It was a different time. It was a terror. You know, 60s were a thaw, and you know, we lived in quite a liberal state. We watched all films, and we start to travel, etc., etc. So my film was banned, and you know, once someone's film is banned, he's a hero. I was a star because I was a dissident. I never was a dissident. It just happened. So I became, you know, a victim, as you said. So I was very proud of it. And I get another movie right away. So it's a, if you think about it from a different point of view, if you think about it, what, you know, people who are trying to change the society, like Solzhenitsyn or you name it, Tarsis, and you know, others who were exiled or put in prison in the Soviet 60s, or then in psychiatric asylums. They're very courageous people, very courageous, and I have a tremendous respect for them. But they were politically oriented, or Sharansky. They were politically oriented. We were completely apolitical. We were artists. We wanted to make films. There was maybe one politically oriented director, Askoldov, who made a film about something Jewish commissar or something like this film. His film was banned, and he became kind of persona non grata. But film society is quite dependent on money, because you cannot make film without state money. So they were quite uniform. Even the most talented, even like Andrei, he was suffering, but his films were all released and done. So saying that Soviet censorship was, Soviet system was sick. That's a different thing, you know, but you never think about it that it's sick unless you understand otherwise. Because, you know, when you sit in the film school, and there is a communist youth league, you know, big union, you know, big of the whole institute, and you listen to some functional that comes from the state, who gives you certain instructions. You sit, you're silent, and you think, okay, half an hour, then we're going to have some beer, yeah? Let's go. And you know that you shouldn't stay and say, excuse me, you know, I think I have some doubts about cultural program of Communist Party. That's kind of innocent line, you know. I have some doubts. It doesn't, you don't say it, I disagree. You don't say I against. I have some doubts. That man will be considered mad. I would consider him insane. Why he should do it? We have all doubts. We know that it's wrong, but you shouldn't speak about it. Once you speak about that, you're going to lose your job. So there were some mad people, like my friend Andrei Smirnov, all of a sudden, who made a wonderful film, Belaruski rail station, and then he, getting over the hill, something get into his head that he's a great dissident, and he came to the screening of his film in Kremlin, where there was a Konchalovsky siesta, all country reunion of Communist League youth, and he said, "We live in the wrong country." And it was dead silence. So he spoke about 15 minutes, then just dead silence, then he walked out and he couldn't make a film for the next 10 years. And it was courageous, but from practical point of view, Tarkovsky never asked these questions. Absolutely, he was really apolitical. He wanted to make art. So he wanted to make art, not war. Yeah, but the film were made. That's the difference. In the money-controlled society, the film is not going to be made because it's not going to be getting money to make it, and that.